Uh-huh. Early. To be early. To be early is to be on time. Okay? To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is to just not give a shit. All right. So this is what we do. Early, getting it up, doing what we got to do, making sure it gets done. To be early, to be on time. All right. Just get this stuff shared out. Make sure we're all copacetic. And we're gonna get it. Whoa. All right, let me make sure we're good. And it's a little different now because, oh yeah, let me announce that right now. Open up a membership here, folks. So if you're a regular consumer to this channel, you now have an opportunity to join the Wintrepreneur tribe. And for literally only $5 a month, you can do a work venting session, either privately or publicly. It's really up to you. I recommend you do it privately because you don't want to go too off, unless of course you've just had it with whatever it is you want to vent about, and we'll rock it out. All right, we're good. We are good to go. And we'll rock. All right, let's do it. We're all good. All right. Apologize for that little snippet. I was a little long getting on camera, but had to make sure everything was shared out, everything was cool, everything was copacetic, and it is. We're back for another Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 Tuesday, folks. We are back again. We are breaking down the art of having a conversation, but now more than ever, it is absolutely important, absolutely a necessary skill. It has been a necessary skill, but nowadays, seeing that we have these devices, we have technology, we have all of these ways of having conversations, we need to understand what exactly needs to go into having a really, really quality conversation, because you can have conversations with whoever you want. However, you don't want to have a conversation with everybody, right? You want to make sure you've streamlined it and you focus, you know exactly who it is you need to be speaking to, what you need to be telling them, and then keep it moving. There's too many options to have conversations with whoever for you to not know specifically who it is you need to be talking to. So we're going to be breaking all of that down today in the Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 things that you need to consider, and then continuing these stories in terms of how it is I've done it over the years. I have a ton of examples. I've had tons of conversations. You can just look up all the things I do. It's all available for you and accessible for you right here on this beautiful thing that we call the internet. Beautiful and ugly thing, depending on, I guess, the time of day or what the moment is. All right. It's just life. The internet is just life nowadays. All right. So all that being said, let me just introduce myself to anybody that may be new to this channel. First and foremost, my name is Aswan Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, very soon, I could taste it, very soon to be 6-time published author and educator. I created this whole brand, this whole framework, this whole this whole mentality, this whole mindset, this whole way of life that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with business owners, businesses, and business owners, so they have a staff and a group of employees, staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently and as cohesively and has that passion, has that eagerness to them, has that strength to them, has that dog up in them, right? That lion mentality in them. All right, they have that the same way a championship high school or youth football team has it. Like, think about how it would be. You have that championship high school or youth football team, and then you have your staff, your group of employees, and they walk around with that same mentality, that same every single day. I'm just getting better. I'm just getting better. I'm just getting better. That's what we teach over here. When you dive into the systems that I teach and how I teach it, that's the result of what you're going to be getting. So again, today, again, all of this stuff is proven. You can go look at my track record, look at the receipts, but right now I'm focusing on what we're going to be doing now. So let me get through a couple of announcements here, and then we're going to jump right into the article where we're breaking it again. We're breaking down top 5 things all week. I'm going to be breaking down how to start conversations with a total stranger. And it all, if you go back to yesterday, you understand that it stemmed from me wearing this shirt, this plus LY, this legendary plus LY logo that yours truly came up. Yours truly went out and bought those pencils and then added the plus LY to it. Me wearing it and being asked, hey, do you work at a preschool? And even though I do teach at a preschool, this isn't the preschool's logo. This isn't the school's logo, even though it's strikingly similar, but it all goes into the concept of entrepreneurship and aligning your brand with a company that's paying you every 2 weeks. All that kind of stuff we're going to be breaking down. We break down here. So first and foremost, if you are a business owner, and you have yet to do this, make sure you do this as soon as possible. This is a great opportunity for you to start to develop some knowledge and work your craft. All right, go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. That is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. We work from an incredibly simple formula here. It is establishing measurables plus a professional distance, and that will give you the productive environment that you need. Those two things, you need those two things working hand in hand. They got to be working hand in hand, man. All right. Peanut butter jelly. You got to add those two things. Measurables, professional distance. Measurables, professional distance. As a leader, as an owner, you have got to have those two things established. And then and only then are you going to have the productive environment that your business needs and that your business deserves. You will not get there if those two things are not established, all right? Measurables and a professional distance. I created a very easy to understand 10-step process. It won't get you all the way there, but at least get you in the right direction, all right? Next thing, West Palm Beach, Florida. All right, so boxing lessons are officially back. I found a gym. I found a place. We got a couple people come in last night. It was a great time. This is what you're going to be getting from me. If you are Monday through Friday, all right, I've opened them up from Monday through Friday. If you're free from 6 all the way through 9, again, make sure you contact me and we will figure something out, figure out the best situation for you. If you want to, we also do keep things free every 2 weeks at the park like you see there. So again, there's tons of options. Just let me know which one you are interested in. And finally, my kind of people, the kind of people I love to have conversations with, straight up. I ain't gonna hold you. The folks that I love to work with are the folks that say, bump all that free stuff. Let me know what I need to be paying for. Those are the kind of folks I like to talk to all day. You can just simply go to makeyourmove.com, go to the Shop Now tab. You will see the books. You'll see all the books I have. You'll see what my workshops cost, and we can talk about a payment plan and how you get it paid for and all that. And most importantly, do all the research that you need to do on me for the sizable investment that I'll be asking for. Again, it's really an investment in your business and all that. Again, Innovative Teamwork tab, it tells you exactly what you're going to be getting, and I'll read it out loud for you guys as we jump into the article. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswan, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. All right. So once we develop that system, there's a decision that you have to make. It's going to be, hey, do I outsource this part or do I actually bring in the right individual or bring in a certain type of individual? Again, all of this stuff is explained. It will be explained as we have our meeting. So all that being said, here we go. Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 things to consider when starting a conversation. And I have to mention before I even get started, because I didn't mention, I think I did, I can't remember, but I have to mention one of my favorite books. All right, it is Hill Harper, The Conversation. All right, this is a fantastic read. It's a fantastic read because he looks at it from the lens of relationships and men and building men and women building loving relationships. So he talks about it from the standpoint of having a kind of a romantic relationship, and he didn't like to see all the couples that were divorcing and things like that. And again, very, really fantastic read that I strongly recommend, because the principles of it can be applied to so many things outside of a romantic relationship. So much of having a conversation, so much of developing your ability to communicate and have conversations, so much of it is applicable outside of you liking a certain person or wanting to be romantically involved with a certain person. And in fact, I will take it even further to say, if you put your focus on having and developing strong conversations outside of the romantic, your ideal romantic partner, it will make it so you're able to add more value to your romantic partner. Okay, because you can only be that romantic person for so long. You eventually have to get out of that and develop your own identity and develop your own I want to say brand, but you have to develop your own self and really understand the things that you like and the things that you enjoy, and not doing so much for other people. You don't want to get caught up in this trend, or get caught up in this idea, caught up in a situation where everything you do is for somebody else, and everything that you move and then somebody asks you how you doing, what you do today, and every single part of your day is taking care of somebody else or trying to do something for somebody else. Those are the folks that we don't want to, that we want to weed that mentality out, or we want to start weeding that mentality out, because you're not going to be anything for anybody if that is the mentality. If the mentality is, oh, I got to do this for this person, I got to do this for that person, I do this for this boss, I got to do this for my kids, I got to do this for my parent, I got to do this for my spouse, I got to do this for my sibling, or whatever. If it's everything about your day is doing something for somebody else, right, you won't be anything to any of them, because you haven't figured out what fills you up. You haven't figured out what gives you fulfillment, and what gives you joy, what gives you an opportunity to be your whole self. And then you can't be anything for any of these people that you spend so much time taking care of. All right, I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm talking to somebody right now. Stop doing so much shit for other people and start thinking about what you can do for yourself, and then you can actually become something for all of these people that you got to take care of. Talking to somebody. We're talking to somebody right now. I'm talking to somebody right now. All right. All right. So first and foremost, let's get into the articles. I can start preaching. You never know, man. Tuesday morning service. Morning service might start coming out, man. It might start coming out. You just never know, man. You never know when it starts coming out. So anyway, top 5 Tuesday, top 5 things to consider when starting a conversation. This is absolutely beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Incredibly valuable information. This was me back 2 years ago, I think it was, the kidney walk at I did it was a photo shoot plus the kidney walk. So I still use these photos to this day. I love that shirt. Man, that's when I got it orange because, the kidney walk, and that's the color of the kidney walk. So anyway, let's get into it. So reading that for my podcast listeners, I'm reading directly from the article now. Again, make sure you follow me on medium.com at MoveSwiftly44. A lot of these articles are going to be included in the new book on how to be a wintrepreneur. So if you're following me on Medium, there's going to be some deals made, some opportunities there where you can actually get the physical copy, because I know personally as a reader, there's a difference in physically actually holding a book and being able to highlight and hold and go back to it, as opposed to having to keep going online. There's something real secure about just holding the pages of a book, highlighting it out, and talking through it, and really allowing it to sit in your heart and your mind, because there are things that can be said, there are things that can be read that you take in a different way. So, all right, now, again, back to the article directly. As promised, it's another Top 5 Tuesday here on the Move Swift Plus LY platform. And this week, we're staying aligned with our theme, starting better, more productive conversations. Why is this important? Because real results in business and life are sparked through genuine human connection, especially in a world now flooded with bots and AI tools. The people who rise above the noise will be the ones who can teach practical intelligence to others, the kind of wisdom that can't be faked or outsourced. So with that being said, here are the top 5 things to consider when starting a conversation. First and foremost, I gotta make sure I address that before I can move forward. All right. Opportunity. Shout out to Dre, my guy Dre. You guys know a lot of this, man. Look, I'd say a good percentage of the things I've learned from him, I've been able to apply, incorporate, and kind of interweave with the work I do. And it was listening to his show last week, I think it was, where he explained, in a world where artificial intelligence is obviously taken over, the people who can actually teach practical intelligence, the people who are actually smart enough to go in and teach somebody something new that's going to be valuable to their business, that's where the money's going to go. People are paying for the folks that can actually speak and can actually teach actual intelligence. That's what's happening. So the opportunity is always in the opposites. And that's another one I stole from Dre, is opportunity always in the opposites. Whatever the whole world is starting to do, you got to continuously push against the grain, figure out how you can separate yourself, differentiate yourself, make yourself unique, make yourself prolific, make yourself kind of that one person in the space that's doing that thing. And then you can start having quality conversations. All right. That's important. Again, AI bots and, all the stuff going on with AI and artificial intelligence, the folks that are actually doing what I'm doing and teaching practical intelligence and how to use it, that's where the money that's where the money's gonna be. All right. So take advantage, man. Take advantage. Be out there working, doing what you got to do. All right. So number one, and that leads me to number one. Think about the nonverbal cues. All right. Nonverbal cues. What are the nonverbal cues? What's the vibe? What's the thing? What are the things that you're getting from a person that they're not saying verbally? All right. Here's an example. I'll give you an example of this. All right. This was back when I was in college, and I'm going to read it directly first and then explain it to you guys. So they'll tell you everything, reading directly the article, guys. So they'll tell you everything if you're paying attention. Let me give you a quick throwback story. I was 18 years old, a college freshman, and like most of my teammates, my goals at the time were very simple. Get laid as much as possible without catching anything. Joking, but not really joking. That's all. As a college freshman, as an incoming college football player, freshman, that's all we gave a shit about, right? The only thing we cared about was getting laid as much as humanly possible, like schoolwork. And to be honest with you, the game started to fade, because at this point we're realistically saying to ourselves, man, we ain't about to go to the league. So let's just take advantage of this now, get laid as much as humanly possible, and just don't catch anything. And, hopefully walk out of here with a degree and get some job. But that was unfortunately, again, that was the mentality. That's just how we got down. And that's not different than the majority of young 18-year-old incoming college freshmen. I don't care what that's now, again, if you're dubbed as one of those dudes that is possibly going to the NFL, probably have a little more focus. But I started out at a D2 school and went MCS. Again, a lot of these guys didn't really think they were going to be playing in the NFL. So the next goal was like, hey man, get some ass and do what you got to do. So get laid as much as possible without catching anything. Joking, but not really joking. All right. So I was in Carson College, and this is in East Jefferson City, Tennessee, which is close to Knoxville. All right. So because we all redshirted, a bunch of us drove to Nashville for the homecoming game at Tennessee State University. No, it would be packed. I mean, that thing was going to be packed with some women. I'm talking about women. Oh, man. I tell you, because listen, we were at Carson Newman College. So this is, liberal arts. Like, it was kind of just a college town. And then Knoxville wasn't really us, us. So TSU was the HBCU. So it was like, look, we'll make the drive to TSU's homecoming. And honey's, it's like that episode of Fresh Prince, like honey's buzzing like bees, like, oh, all over. So we drove, we took the 3-hour drive to go to TSU's homecoming. Would have been year 2007, right? So 2007. And we're at the game. So as we were watching the crowd, we kept saying, give me that second look. Give me that second look. That little glance back. That moment of unspoken interest was our green light to strike up a conversation. Same thing applies in business. If you pay attention to body language, eye contact, or energy, you'll spot the openings for a real connection. Let me just give you some. It might be easier if you understand. Let me give you like a kind of a role play. So we're at the game and we don't know anybody. Again, we're in Knoxville. We're closer to East Jefferson City, Tennessee, and this is the first time that we even been to Nashville. Like me and my boy, we really didn't know anybody in Nashville like that. So we're at TSU's homecoming at the game, and as we're seeing the girls walk by, my boy, his name, shout out to Say, he's saying, and me and him are kind of saying like, which girl is giving us that second look, right? So as they're walking by, we're hoping that we get that, like, you know what I'm saying? That cute, like. So the minute she gives us that second look, that's the like, all right, bet. That's the opening to give a little conversation, say what's your name, what you do, what's your school you go to, all that kind of, really start to put in some work. But and that is a nonverbal. So that second look is that nonverbal. So as you apply it to your business, there are certain things that you can pick up, right? Let's say you're out here and you're selling one of these. You're selling, you work for Excess Energy, and you're selling one of these, and you see someone who's physically in shape, that's able to do certain things. They're talking a little bit there. I won't say talking, but they're physically in shape and they look like they're actually work out and they commit to it. You can ask them based on how they physically look. Hey, what do you have a shaker bottle yet? Do you have this? Do you have that? You can or you wouldn't even start with just selling them the stuff. You would just start by, hey, where do you work out? What gym do you normally go to? Do you like CrossFit? Do you chat them up and get a little idea of what their workout, what they like to work out at? Because you see they obviously do something. And then when you draw them into the conversation, then you go, yeah, I got a shaker bottle that does this. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you've already picked up on the nonverbal cues, which is they're in shape. They look good. They're moving around fairly healthy. They're not kind of dragging around and stuff like that. They just have energy. All right. So that brings me to number 2. So nonverbal. So we get, now that we're clear on what the first thing is you got to understand, then you got to do number 2, which is know your shit. All right. Saying it as bluntly as I can. You got to know what the hell it is you're talking about. You got to know your product inside and out. Inside and out, you got to know your product. All right. Know your shit. Introducing yourself is one thing. Knowing what to say is another. This is where preparation matters. The more you consume valuable information daily, the more likely you are to stumble into a meaningful exchange. Years ago, I attended a youth football event at the University of Tampa. I wasn't even sure how I ended up there, but I sparked up a conversation with a professor who mentioned hockey was his thing. I told him the only thing I know about hockey is what I read in Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. He lit up, we dove into the topic, and before I knew it, he was introducing me to more people in the room. Moral of the story, you never know when your learning will open doors. Hear me very, very clearly on this one, all right? I had been in Tampa. I just got to Florida and I was in St. Petersburg. I might have been in St. Petersburg for maybe about 3 weeks, really, like not even a month yet, right? Not really knowing anybody. I just started. I did actually get a job at Orange Theory Fitness and I didn't even start there yet, to be honest with you. But I saw some event on Facebook, something about youth football and, just what it was about. And again, I'm just looking to meet people and get to know people because I didn't really know. It's at the University of Tampa, and the University of Tampa didn't have a football team. And that was kind of my thing is, getting to know people in the university ranks and who knows this one, who knows that one. So the organizer of the event, he comes out and he's just kind of introducing himself to people and, hosting the event. And then he goes, yeah, I'm really into hockey or something like that. So I tell him, again, I'm just being honest. I'm just keeping it a buck where I didn't really know much about hockey, but I did read one of my favorite books is Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, where he talks about a hockey team and he documents the all-star team that has a leg up on the players had a leg up on the other ones that were born after a certain day. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, he likes hockey. One of my favorite books, he talks about a hockey team. And then I threw it out there. I was like, yeah, the only thing I really know about hockey is what I read in Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers. And then he goes, yeah. And then he enjoyed because it's a highly acclaimed book. A lot of people have read it. And he goes, "Oh yeah. We're like that person." And he starts making a joke about the All-Star team, yada yada yada. And then we have a genuine exchange, and then he puts me on with the person that actually created the event, who was like, he was some sport. His son actually was McQueen, I think his name was. But he was a safety for USC, the Trojans, and he had caught the interception, and they had the East-West Shrine Bowl during that time and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool because I had got introduced to this guy, and then I went to the East-West Shrine Bowl's practice, and then I saw the player, and then the dad was there and all that kind of stuff. So knowing your shit in a nutshell, the moral of it is knowing and putting the information in your head before you run into these people. That is absolutely valuable. You can know all the people in the world. You can have access to every single human being in the world. If you don't know if you don't know your shit, then none of this stuff is going to actually be good for you. So get to know exactly the information that you need to be having planted in your head that's going to be valuable to you in the future. That's on you. That's what you can do. You can do that. All right. You can start doing that right now. There's no excuse for you not doing that. All right. Then goes back to number 3. Saying all that goes right to number 3. Respect the other person's space. Respect the other person's space. Say it again for the folks in the back that didn't hear me, all the way in the back. Respect the person's space. All right. Understand the respecting of a person's space and their time and all that kind of stuff is so vital. It makes it so people want to have conversations with you. And so people actually want to do business with you and want to work with you if you have the decency of respecting their space. Let me read it. Let me read it directly, because I'm gonna get fired up just with the topic in itself. All right. So whether you're chatting up a stranger, a professor, or a potential client, be mindful of their perspective. When approaching someone, especially in person, the only way the conversation will have a chance to go anywhere is if you respect their boundaries. For example, talking to a young woman, your tone and approach must reflect safety and respect. Talking to a professor, show value in their time and their expertise. Respect creates openness. All right. So let's go back to 1 and 2 real quick, because there's a reason I put the examples like that. So if you look at number 1, thinking about the nonverbal cues, all right. If you're, young man out there, you looking to put some work in with you trying to meet a significant other, if she doesn't give you like that second look or that energy when she sees you, that kind of looks you up and down, and it's like, okay, she's feeling me. Now she's kind of opened up a subtle door with her eyes, right? And you now have to show some respect. Introduce yourself. My name is so and so. This is what I do. This is how I do it. And sort of chat her up a little bit. But the tone of your voice has to reflect some sort of safety. She has to feel safe giving you information. All right. Can't be just aggressive. And again, depending on the situation. Right now, again, college version of me had a couple of drinks in me. I wouldn't take this. The adult version of me that is sort of in the mindset of understanding of my nieces growing up and understanding, and I work with a lot of women and stuff like that. It took me some time to develop this as well. So again, respecting the space. And then number 2, when you're talking about a professor, you have to understand that they have a certain level of expertise. They have a certain level. They have to do some things. Even though I trashed the school system and trashed the college system on so many different occasions, there's still some great people that work in these organizations or work in the education system that you can learn a lot from because of what they had to do to get these positions. All right. So respecting another person's space, all of that goes into it. All right. Now, number 4 and 5. 4 and 5 can kind of go together. What's up, Miss? 4 and 5 can kind of go together. Keep it brief. Keep it brief. When you're having conversations with folks, matter of fact, let me read it. I'm going to read it directly. Learn the skill of brevity, meaning shut the hell up and just say what you got to say and keep it moving. That's what you got to do. All right, let me read it directly. One of the most overlooked skills in communication is brevity. Avoid rambling, avoid monologues, ask good questions, and let the other person do the talking. It shows confidence, it shows control, and it keeps the conversation from draining energy. when you keep it brief, my name is so-and-so, this is what I do, love to hear more. I really think I can contribute with some of the things you got going on. Let me know if there's a person I can contact, or if you're the person to contact. Let me understand. I'll give you a perfect example. All right. Perfect example. I was at this point, I'm like 24, 25, and I have this big dream of starting this minor league football team in Ocean City that completely, again, I've spoken about it in the past. I'll probably continue to talk about it, but because there's so many different facets, so many different lessons when it comes to what I had to deal with that. But anyway, one of the major coaches, one of the well-known coaches out in that area is a guy named Sherman Wood, Coach Wood. He's been the head coach at Salisbury University for years. In fact, he probably still is. Let me look him up real quick. Sherman Wood. Yep, there he is. Jeez, man, still there. Yeah, he's still there. D3 coach of the year. He's still there. My goodness. That's he's been around for a while. So anyway, I was looking to start out. Like I said, I was looking to start up a team out in that area, right? So I went to a game. I went to one of the games, watched the game. It happened to be a Friday night game that I went. Yeah, you see it, year 26. Yeah, 26. And he just 24. Man, yeah, he's been around, man. Been around a long time. So it was after a game, and I have this idea of starting this minor league team in Ocean City. So I go to the coach. I say, "Hey, coach, my name is so-and-so. Is there a time and a location or time of day in which I can just stop by the office and tell you about an idea?" That was brief. That was maybe 5 seconds. He says, "Monday, 9:00, boom, done, handshake, keep it moving." That's the way you got to pray. If you want to have quality conversations, you have to understand the skill of brevity. Brevity, meaning you don't go and approach someone and say, "I got this great idea to do this and do that, do this, do that, do it." No, you just say, "Hey, is there proper time? Is there this? I can contribute to whatever it is you're trying to do. Let me know when we can connect on something deeper." When you are doing that, you start to spark interest, and you make it so people are intrigued enough to hear more. But if you just start rambling, it's not going to get there. It's not going to get there. And that goes right into number 5. Easily. I mean, if you take anything from this one is the most important one on the list. Period, point blank, end of sentence. Listen. You have to listen, folks. You have got to listen. This one is so absolutely incredibly important in everything you do. Listen, self-explanatory. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listening is how you learn what matters to the other person. It's how you position your follow-ups, and it's the number 1 way to build trust quickly. So as you head into your week, ask yourself, are you being intentional with your conversations? Are you listening more than you speak? Are you reading body language as much as you're delivering the message? All right. Now, tomorrow, when we dive into Wintrepreneur Wednesday, I'm going to be giving you examples. Again, I've had a ton of jobs. I've worked in a ton of different industries. I've had to approach people of all sorts, all walks of life. As you can tell, there's been a ton of things that I've gone out and done, and a ton of conversations that I've had. I will be breaking down the stories and how these conversations became the quality conversations that they became. Again, all of this stuff you can look up right here on this channel. Make sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing it out. Again, we have a membership in which even if you just want somebody to listen to you because you're so sick and tired of being in a situation where every single day you're putting your all in, you're giving it your all, you're trying this, you're trying that, doing this, you're doing that, all sorts of things you're trying, and no one's listening to you. This is what this business is all about. It's all about creating an opportunity for you to continue to grow and continue to get better. So all that being said, let me just go back and recap what today's Top 5 Tuesday was all about. Top 5 Tuesday, consider top 5 things to consider when starting and or having a quality conversation. If you want to develop a conversation, number 1, got to understand the nonverbal cues. Number 2, got to know your shit. Number 3, you got to respect the person's space. Number 4, keep it brief. Number 5, listen. listen more than you talk, and listen. Don't listen so you can speak. Listen so you can actually listen and see what a person's really understand what a person's really going through. Two ears, two ears, two eyes, one mouth for a reason. Two ears, two eyes, and one mouth for a reason. All right. So again, everyone out there, if you have not yet, if you want to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing and what I'm all about, tap in with me. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.